What is up, everybody? Hopefully you guys are doing okay. And this is another video review, and it is a movie that I saw when I was in high school. I rented it from a video store. I want to say I was 14, maybe 14 or 15 at the time. Depending on who was at the counter, they would let us rent R-rated movies. So we would go in there, and if it was a person that we knew wouldn't let us, we would just kind of go browse. And they had this popcorn machine, and sometimes we would rent, another movie or PG-13 movie. But if the right person was there, we could rent R-rated movies. So we rented 7, and that movie, when it came out, I don't recall if it had a tons of hype to it, but I just remember seeing the trailer for it and thinking that this is a movie that I want to see. And so we rented it and just absolutely loved it. Everything about it. Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, who was kind of really starting to come into his own as like an A-list. He was becoming the guy. So that was like a real big breakout film for him as far as like establishing him as a main event player. This movie starts out with, I'm not sure what city it is. I always thought it was like Seattle area because of like all the rain they got, but part of me thinks it may be like a Philadelphia or possibly in New York, but they really never say the city that it's in. It starts out with Morgan Freeman going to a crime scene where something happened between a family, and I think the parents were killed and they killed the kids, and Morgan Freeman asking a question, and you hear the other cop kind of make a comment negatively towards Morgan Freeman, almost irritated by his questioning regarding something on the case, like not a normal question that you would ask, but it kind of set the table. Morgan Freeman's character, Somerset, has a very distinct and unique way that he approaches a crime scene and how he examines the evidence and his thought process on how he comes to the conclusions of what he does and kind of how he's able to break down what's happening and kind of figure out things regarding the case. And so we meet Brad Pitt's character, Detective Mills, who transferred in from another area. They don't say exactly where, but he's not a rookie, but he's a new guy in that area, in that precinct. So when Brad Pitt's character, David Mills, comes into the picture of this film, him and Somerset kind of butt heads because they have two different approaches to the way they handle a crime scene and how they operate. And they kind of butt heads early on. It's a very interesting dynamic between the two characters. So they're not necessarily best friends, but they are forced to be allies on the following cases. So this is the story of somebody who is doing murders, and he's basing it off the 7 deadly sins. It's almost like a game of cat and mouse, and them trying to catch this guy before he can complete, all 7 of them. This movie is very gory. It's very graphic. It's very dark and gritty. There's not much levity. There's not much humor. There's not much as far as positivity. It's a very dark, serious film, and it's really intense. From the beginning to the end of the movie, it is, balls to the wall, very dark, graphic. There's not many jokes in the film. It's not for everybody. This is a movie that, I'm sure a lot of people really didn't enjoy just because of the nature of the content in it. And it's a wonderful film. It really is. And from the beginning of the movie, the way the beginning credits start off to the very end, to where the end credits go, it's got such a unique style to it. The filming, the lighting, the shots that they use, the camera angles, it's just got a very distinct and unique way about it. I just absolutely love the way David Fincher made this film. It's one of my all-time favorites. And so my pros for this movie, the cast in this movie is really, really good. You got Brad Pitt as Detective Mills. You got Morgan Freeman You got Gwyneth Paltrow. Spoiler alert, you got Kevin Spacey. You have the great Arlie Army. He doesn't get a ton of time on camera, but the fact that he's in there, it just makes it that much better because he's a tremendous actor. And, you know, him as the police captain, it just instantly gives this credibility. Even the lawyer that is defending John Doe, you know, that guy, you know, he's believable. Everything in this movie, the coroner who has to examine the body, the guy who played the manager at the I don't know if it was like a hotel or like a brothel type place. I don't know if it's like one of those motels to where you can rent a room by the hour or so, but just everybody in this movie, from the main cast to just the people in the background, it's an absolutely phenomenal job. And let's not forget Richard Roundtree. That's right, Shaft plays the district attorney, Martin Talbot. This is a really, really, really good cast. The story is great. When you watch this movie, it's very believable. The pace of the movie is great. It's intense from the beginning all the way to the end. It does not drag on. It has a good flow to it, and it builds and builds and builds and builds till the very end and the climactic third act and the end scene. The cons, wow, I really can't think of any off the top of my head. I honestly don't have any complaints about this movie. I absolutely love it. So I don't have any negative things to say about this. But if you haven't seen it, it is one of my favorite movies of the mid to late 90s. It is an iconic film. It's something that I would highly, highly recommend. If you haven't seen it, go out there, check it out. You will not regret it. And like I said, this is a film that I go back to and I can watch anytime because it's just such a well done film. But 7, I would say, if I had to give it a rating, 0 to 10, 0 being the worst, 10 being the best, I would give this movie a solid 8.5. It's one of my all-time favorite drama / thriller type films. It's one that I've never forgotten. The moment I watched it, I knew I loved this film, and it was going to be one of my favorites. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the review, the channel. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You like it, hate it. Leave me some comments and feedback, good or bad. I love to see the feedback. And as always, thank you for checking out the channel and the video, and have a good day.